Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very exciting release. I had, as soon as I saw this released on the Trend Mood site, I knew I had to pick at least a couple of shades because I love everything Charlotte Tilbury and I love my eyes to mesmerize. So the idea of having two eyes to mesmerize in a matte shade just blew my mind. I knew that I had to try them and get them as soon as I could, and I did. I actually did not wait for the Sephora release. I bought them directly from the Charlotte Tilbury website. That's how excited I was for this release. So I got two shades, the first one being the Flawless Beige. This one was the second to darker shade, or second to lightest shade. And I also got the Chocolate Veil. So let me show them to you real quick side by side. So this one is Flawless Beige and here is Chocolate Veil. So this was the one that I thought would be so beautiful for my everyday, and then this one for a perfect smoky eye. So as you can see, there's literally no shimmer, no nothing. These are gonna be very matte eyeshadows. And then on the back, just like the other eyes to mesmerize, they just say the name. Flawless Beige and then Chocolate Veil. These eyeshadows retail for $34 and they have 5 grams of product in the little pots. So she released 5 shades. The first one being Nude Cashmere, which is the lightest. Then the second lightest, I guess, would be the one that I got in Flawless Beige. Then they released a Smoky Taupe. Then Chocolate Veil, which is the darkest one that I got, and then lastly she did release a black called Diffused Black. So at this moment you can only find these eyeshadows in the Charlotte Tilbury website. I don't believe they've released on the Sephora site. I will let you know here if they are released on the Sephora site. Anyway, let's go ahead and try this on the eyes. I do have one of them as a base today. I do have some opinions and some thoughts on these eyeshadows that I'll let you know on the very end of the video. We're gonna first try Flawless Beige. I did try this yesterday, and then after that we'll have a clip with the darker shade. I heard the best reviews on these eyeshadows, but I didn't really fully watch any video reviewing them because I always like to do a fresh kind of like first impressions without my brain being kind of like, you know, having ideas of other people on how it worked for them. Personally, I love all my eyes to mesmerize and I always say how much I love them. These of course are new ones because she's never done matte formula. So we're gonna start today with trying the Flawless Beige, which is the second lightest, which of course this is not light, but just referring from like light to dark, this is the second lightest. So the way that I always apply my makeup, this is gonna be for any eyeshadow. If it's the eyes to mesmerize or it's a powder shadow, I first go with my concealer and powder around my eyes because I do have vitiligo on my skin. So I cover the whiteness with that and then I just go straight with the eyeshadow. So today we're gonna do the exact same thing. My eyes and face are mostly done. I just need the eyeshadow and mascara. So the brush that I like to use, preferably with my eyes to mesmerize whenever I do use a brush, because sometimes I just go with my finger, is the 230 Blending Brush by Fenty Beauty. That's what we're gonna be doing today or using today. So here is another close-up of Flawless Beige. With my brush, I'm just going to grab a little bit of the product and I can't really see through there, so I'm just gonna get closer here and I'm just saturating the brush and you can see the color right there. I hope I didn't grab too much. So I just have a little mirror here, so I'm just gonna start applying this. Okay, that literally gave me nothing. So let's switch. Let's just try with my finger instead because, oh, this is very dry. This does not feel at all like the other eyes to mesmerize. Oh, goodness. Okay, so this is very, very dry feeling. I don't know about that. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I know that a lot of people, whenever they came out, were trying to compare them or were talking about comparing it to the pottery board, to the pots from MAC, the Painterly pots. I never owned any of that just because I don't use this kind of eyeshadows. I always just use regular eyeshadows or cream shadows, but not that this kind. I am trying again with my brush. It's a very, very drying formula. And it's sticky. Like, it's just very, very sticky. So I don't particularly am a fan, I think, of this eyeshadow, of the formula, because it's very dry, but it is going on very smoothly and it's not really giving me any patches, which is what I found in the past whenever I've tried matte eyeshadows. Okay, so I like that it's not patchy at all, but it's just being a little hard to apply just because it is very drying. And I feel like I'm bouncing this very hard on my eye to the point that I feel like it's getting a little red. So yeah, it's working good. It's giving me, that's Lucy. It's working good, but I feel like it's too dry and it's a little aggressive on the eye because it's so drying that you have to like really, really press on your eye. So I'm not loving that. As much as I can blend, I mean, I like how it looks, I'm not gonna lie. It's a very nice matte shadow and it's very, there's no patches, so that's really nice, but I don't think I like this consistency. I don't think I like this formula. It's just way too dry for me. So here we have the eye with nothing and here with the Flawlessly Beige or Flawless Beige. I switched to a Sephora by Makeup by Myra brush. This is just a blending one. And honestly, I feel like it looks very pretty, but I feel like my eye is kind of hurting. It's just too drying for my liking, and applying it with the finger, it's a little bit hard because first off I have long nails and second is too dry even to the touch. So I'm just kind of like swirling the brush here. I'm gonna go on with the second eye. But just to show you how drying and kind of like clay-like this is, look at the way the brush looks. That's just very, very odd. So that's a very saturated brush, but still, I mean, I don't know. Let's go ahead and apply on this side. I'm gonna try to be a little more gentle if I can. Like I was mentioning, I haven't really watched or seen any of the other videos. I've just read like the title of the videos that were like, what was she thinking? This is such a bad thing, you know, like just bashing the eyeshadow. But I haven't in detail, like I didn't know, maybe this is one of the things, that it's too dry. I have no clue of what comments people are saying about these eyeshadows. I just wanted to do a fresh first impressions. And as a first impressions, I do not like this formula. This is extremely drying. It is kind of like even hurting my eye to a point by just applying it. So if my eye is gonna be hurt by applying eyeshadow, I think that's when you draw the line. But I'm just trying to blend as best as I can to blend the shadow into the crease. So yeah, that's kind of like what we got here. And the brush, I mean, once again, the brush is just so weird and dirty. It feels like this brush has never been washed just because of the consistency of the shadow. So now I'm going to add a little bit extra and I'm going to blend it in my lower eyes. Here is a little bit closer, just the eyeshadow. I have to go on and add some inner corner highlight and lots of mascara. I'm not gonna add any eyeliner. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I like the full matte look, but yeah, that application was not easy. That is the driest eyeshadow I've ever encountered in my life. Anyway, I'll be right back. We're all done with the eyeshadow. I just added a little bit of inner corner highlight. I used the lighter one from the little palette that I was using as my mirror. This one is the Walk of No Shame from Tilbury. So just a close-up. Let me show you real quick. I did add a little bit extra of the same shadow, of course, on my crease, just to make sure that everything looked a little bit better blended since it was so hard to blend. But yeah, here is, let me get a little bit more to the back. Here is the final look. I wanted to go for red lips since this is a very matte look, and since it's nude or beige, I thought a red lip would make the whole face pop. So yeah. Here is the first eyeshadow. Today we're gonna be testing Chocolate Veil, which is the second darker shade that I got from this little collection, the matte from Ice to Mesmerize. So I'm gonna be doing the same that I did with the beige shade. So my face is already done. I just need the eyeshadow and mascara. And for brushes, I'm gonna be using one from Fenty Beauty, number 230, and then one from Makeup by Mario. So I'm gonna be applying it the same way. I'll start first with the brush, which I feel like the more dense was the best one. So I'm just going to grab a little bit or a lot in here. If you hear anything in the back, that's Lucy. Lucy! So now that my brush is saturated, I'm just gonna start applying this directly into my eye. And just like yesterday's shade, just like the beige one, this is very dry and it is very difficult to blend. So I am going to instead go into directly with my finger, which is also a little bit hard to get out because of my long nails. But we'll do what we can, and I do have a little bit of product already there. And I'll just blend this directly into the eye with the finger, and then I'll probably just grab my brush and start blending this into the crease. I feel like this one is being a little bit harder to blend, maybe because it's a darker shade, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just having a bit of a harder time blending. So I got a little more of the product with my finger, and I'm going to try to blend this into the crease and then darken the eyelid a little bit more. And now I am going to go back into the same brush, the one from Makeup by Mario, and I'm just blending. I'm not even joking that my eye, like my eyeball inside, is starting to get irritated. It's not hurting per se, but it just feels like, okay, that's enough. Whatever you're doing, just stop it. So here we are just blending. This shade is definitely harder to blend. Getting a little bit closer so you can see what it's looking like. I do find that this one is patchy compared to yesterday's. So you can see kind of like right there in the middle, and the crease is not looking too good, but this is as much as I can do. I'm trying to blend, but it's not really being helpful at all. I am as done as I can be, and I don't want to keep applying more of this eyeshadow to my eyes because it is legitimately hurting my eye. So I'm just gonna drop it. I am not gonna continue using this. You can tell that it's very patchy. I was trying to fix it, but as much as I try to fix it, it just keeps hurting my eye more and more. I think it just changed my mind. So like I mentioned earlier, I do have to run some errands today. So I was just gonna fix my eyeshadow after I was done with the video. I was just gonna add mascara and inner corner highlight. But I'm just gonna show it to you real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and fix it. I'm gonna add some other, eyeshadow on top of this. Just because once I add mascara, it's gonna be very hard to fix the eyeshadow underneath. And then my lashes are gonna get all stuck, and I just don't wanna deal with that. I am already not happy with this makeup as is, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fix it. So this is going to be the final look. I'm not gonna show you any mascara or inner corner highlight like I did yesterday or with the beige shadow, just because this is looking extremely patchy. I am back. I did, like I mentioned, add a little extra eyeshadow. I went with the Marc Jacobs. This is the Fantasy palette. All I did was add this shadow right here and then the dark brown. So this two, that's all I have on my eyes. So of course the Chocolate Veil on the bottom, and then to fix it I added just the beautiful bronzy shade, and then for my liner I did like a fall liner like I usually do with the dark brown. Okay, so let's talk real quick, I'm fixing my seat, about this. It's been a while. It's been a very long while since I find or stumble upon a product that I don't like. Not that I only don't like, but that it does not perform like it should perform, and a product that it's basically useless. I feel very disappointed, and this pains me so much to say it, because if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I am a fan through and through of Charlotte Tilbury. I love the brand, I love her whole aesthetic, her whole look into makeup, which is everything so natural and just beautiful. So whenever she came up with this two eyeshadows, or not two eyeshadows, but with this line of matte eyes to mesmerize, I just went crazy. I'm like, this is going to be so good. Like, the eyes to mesmerize is probably, if I had to pick my #1 product from her line, it would be my eyes to mesmerize. I love these eyeshadows. So whenever I saw that she was gonna release a matte version, I was so excited because I'm like, well, the matte, the eyes to mesmerize are so beautiful, so perfect for your one and done easy eye look. It's so, so perfect, everything about those eyeshadows. So I thought, hey, this is perfect. Matte eyeshadows for my everyday. I want a beige one for everyday and then a more darker one for like a more smoky eye. It's gonna be so beautiful. I literally opened the eyeshadow yesterday when I did the eye look with the Flawless Beige, and I thought, oh, maybe? Like, at initial touch, I'm like, ooh, did I get a bad one? Is this dry because it was left, you know, maybe like, I don't know, whatever. But then I realized, no, I did not get a bad eyeshadow. They're just bad. They're just really, really bad. And once again, it pains me so much to say this because I'm a huge fan of her line. I don't know what happened with this collection. I don't know who thought that this would be a good release. Not even a good release. How did this even get released? Like, an eyeshadow that's a cream eyeshadow that has behind its name Charlotte Tilbury, Eyes to Mesmerize. This should have never been released. These eyeshadows literally paint my eyes. Like, my eyelids were literally screaming at me, stop applying this. It's very painful. I went with my usual brushes. I went with my finger. Just nothing seemed to work, to the point that I had to just do something else today because I was not about to go out on my, you know, life with a very patchy dark brown eyeshadow that also hurt my eyes a lot. So you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm very upset. I don't usually return makeup. If something doesn't work as I wish it had did, I kind of like make it work. I very seldom return makeup. This is going back ASAP. There's just no justification at how bad these eyeshadows are. They're extremely dry. Like, they're extremely dry even if you try to how would say, to swatch them. They're just very drying. Like, just the whole thing is bad. I am very disappointed. I feel like this release had so much potential, and it was just tossed down the drain. You cannot apply these eyeshadows to your eyes unless you like to have your eyelids be in pain. I mean, it just blows my mind how did it pass through kind of like the marketing team, like, hey, let's release some matte eyeshadows, perfect. Then we've got the formulation, you know, the scientists were doing this, or whoever does this, and then whoever tried this, because I'm assuming this was tried at some point. I mean, it has to have been tried. And then someone's like, yeah, that's perfect. Let's release a dry as can be eyeshadow that you can't apply with basically anything. And when you can apply it, it hurts your finger. I'm sorry, your eyelid. It's just terrible. Terrible, terrible. And I've never probably said anything like this in my channel from any other brand, any other product, because I've never tried such a bad eyeshadow. But anyway, you guys, that's my little spiel and very much complaining of these eyeshadows. Let me know in the comments down below if you bought them. If you saw this video or if you've seen this video before, you're thinking about buying this, please do not buy it. Please do not spend your money on this. Listen to me, go with the Eyes to Mesmerize, the regular shades, any you pick. It's beautiful, blendable, just perfection in a little bottle. This, don't even waste your time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!